Hey, that looks new.
I feel like his new art sculptures kind of screw with the village's rustic aesthetic. Although he is contributing to the rust. Oh, and you missed it again.
Oh.
I don't think I'd count on me finding that.
You can hear it squeaking this time though, dude. This time it is calling out to you like a beautiful bird. I gotta give it to Heisenberg though. He does seem like a pretty good sport. Well, he is. I mean, he gave you a chance to run free like a dumbass, and now that he has done that, he essentially still has the upper hand because he still has a part of our daughter. So it really is just a sport to him. What? No. Maybe he had the lower hands, by which I mean the legs.
The walkie hands.
I actually don't know which parts of Rose come from where, aside from the head.
Nor do I. But I bet it's thematically appropriate if you tie it together, and at some point in this LP, I'll do it and be like, you guys! Or something like that. In that voice.
So yeah, the dorsal fin comes from Moreau then, right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I see. Your daughter has one of those rare human mutations where she's got like a little tail on her tailbone. Well, see, that's what that doctor visit was about at the start of the game. Makes sense.
Ah. So anyway, we could follow the signs at that point up those stairs, but there is a little side path over here that goes to a place that the sign labeled as Otto's Mill.
I was gonna say
there's treasure here.
Well,
yeah, there's treasure here, and if you're going for all dishes, you do want to come here because there's a lot of meat.
What? I was gonna say, like, I hope Otto isn't home, because knowing Ethan Winters walking into meat shacks, right? If the occupant is still present, they're not gonna be happy that he's done that. He's lived through a Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque film. House Beneviento prepared him for a trip down memory lane. Let's see if he remembers. Based on you equipping all of your enormous guns, you do remember.
I hadn't considered that this isn't the first time Ethan's been to a slaughterhouse.
At least this guy doesn't have a chainsaw.
Yeah. Anyway, Here's Otto. He's a big dude.
Otto's got back problems, and I don't like it.
He would at his age, right? Working in a slaughterhouse, like bending over the saws and stuff all day, that would give you back problems. Also, carrying around a giant axe the size of 4 humans. He ought to be feeling that one in his crotch right about now.
I am so sad that I misjudged the distance on that one.
Not even. I think it was just the animation, because you lit Otto up there. Oh boy. You lit him up like some Roman fire. Although he did put himself out quite quickly.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, Ethan takes that one to the chin like an absolute pro.
It probably helps that I think I was blocking.
I feel like that was
judicious use of explosives will help a lot here.
I feel like that was the Ethan Winters equivalent of an anime cross counter. You blew him up with a mine while he hit you in the face with an axe. Well, that's the thing. I'm gonna assume you took reduced damage because that just didn't hurt you. Like, it missed you entirely because Ethan Winters doesn't have a top of the head. We established this.
That is entirely possible. Anyway, Otto's down.
New weapon
and he
too.
gives us his giant crystal axe.
Hey, look alive. He called in some bats in the belfry. And you know what? You are in a barn. That is where bats live.
Oh, here we go. I think he finally noticed.
Now that they're sucking his blood.
Yeah, basically.
Man, they're so greedy. There's all that blood on the floor they could be licking up too. Is that what these are? Are these like Romanian liquors?
Maybe. Guys, if you're hungry, just go drink up on Otto. I'm sure he's got plenty of blood.
Yeah,
you
really.
killed her too hard to drop a mine on her body.
Yeah, I did. I thought of the thing way too late.
Turned in vain to get that Chivo. This arena is cool. I love this arena. Those big dudes with the axes don't get very much play. There's only a couple of them. And it's because they're big giant set piece mini bosses, right? That first one was in that big open circle where he could just chase you around. I like this a lot. He's got a lot of places he can like jump up to the rafters to meet you up there and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of verticality to this arena. It's really cool, and if I didn't have as many Magnum rounds as I did, I probably would have shown off the upstairs too. In the fight.
Hey, you want to know something really cool also?
Meat.
Besides the meat, we broke one lock to get in here into this room where we were being chased around by a giant with a door we could escape through if we broke 3 locks. We could run away from the giant instead of fighting the giant. If only there were a boulder we could drop, right? Tell Ashley to push it down on him. How about that, huh? How many giants have we fought? We need 2 more. Give us 2 more. Give us 2 more and a pit of lava. You know you want to do it, village. I feel like this guy doesn't know very much about tasty. He's just leaving the meat out to rot. You gotta salt it. Like, that guy knows a lot about itchy, not a whole lot about tasty.
No, he's dry aging the meat.
Is that what that's called? Do they use some kind of like, you know what? I guess we are finding the magical gunk that turns back time, so maybe they can make the meat tasty again.
I mean, I thought dry aging did use salt.
It probably does, and you do have to control the humidity very carefully.
I'm gonna say it also probably doesn't work with human meat, so like 75% of Otto's work in here is wasted. I wonder who Otto was even, well, I suppose the note talked about it. That's what I like about the notes in these little side quest areas, right, is we've talked every now and then about how this game was supposed to have more of these little vignettes and stuff given to you by the villagers at Louise's house. That's one of the only things we really know that they've talked about because of those streams with the developers and the voice actors and stuff. These notes that give you little insight on the villagers before they went nuts is, and how they weren't especially normal beforehand, that's about all you get, sadly. I wish there were more to it, but it's quaint what there is, you know? Oh, look at that! You didn't even forget the goat! We got your goat, Otto! And we got your goat. Look alive! There's like 40 werewolves on your left.
It's cool. I got like 200 handgun rounds.
There's so many barrels! Oh,
They're
wow.
way too far from the barrels.
Well, but you can change that. Has
I
Ethan
can.
Never seen an action film?
Whoa. Feels like he got up way closer than usual.
I love that. Oh no! Oh, not my sinuses.
You know, barrel. This time I will yell about the barrel.
You know, if he pulls hard enough, eventually the hand will come off again, and Ethan will be like, "Ha! Now I can escape." I
don't know why I didn't go for that barrel.
It's fine. The stress of the moment, it gets to you.
I think I just really wanted to shank that dude.
I don't blame you. I desperately try to find uses for like the knife and melee weapons in games like this. Like, I'm the guy that tries to finish off enemies with the pistol when I have like 80 shotgun rounds.
Ooh, where did you get your hands on such a thing?
And anyway, I did show off the cooking menu to demonstrate that I am actually I have completed every recipe except for the one that requires, you know, all the fish, because I missed the stupid catfish in Moreau section.
Yep, we got them all.
So
save for Chris Redfield's private fishing pond.
So
That
there's no
selfish
reason for me
bastard.
to. There's no reason for me to like hold on to any more meat, so I can just sell any extra meat we find from this point on. Is it's extra cash.
I like that there are just a bit extra too. I like that if you do quote unquote screw up, you're not really screwing up. You're more so just locking yourself out of one option and giving yourself two, where it's like, okay, now I can't get 6 fish for this one, meaning I could get the other ones in either order. By the way, look over there. It's those corpses that are on those scarecrows by Louise's house now. Those daughter corpses seem to be just piling up.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Louise's, I feel like we should have visited again. I don't know.
I don't know. We were talking about how there's a werewolf there. I have a feeling there are going to be 30 or 40 of those to be found here. So we're not going to miss out on werewolves to kill.
Yeah, don't worry. Well, there's plenty of action from here on out. We're at the part of the Resident Evil games where we're a walking arsenal and it's pure power fantasy. Except for this, where I try to like snipe from point blank.
Yeah, so the boat's coming up next, and then the flashback chapter, then we're going to the mine, and then chopper pilot Mike is going to get shot down.
So, did either of you waste a bunch of time trying to shoot the birds flying in the sky, or was that just me?
Man, the ones on the ground drop pesetas, but like, I feel why you would do that. Do they?
They do not. They
I love video games.
I thought for sure I would be getting, like, a couple of birds worth of supplies before they dispersed and flew somewhere else, but...
And, you know, now you have a grenade launcher, too, so you could, like, grenade launch into a cloud of flying birds. Knowing this game, though, those aren't normal birds. Oh, sneaky! Right in the kidneys.
I love that the geometry is accurate to where you can actually shoot through little gaps like that.
It is really, really cool. Man, look at all these damn broken archways. Another motif is that, like, whenever there are a bunch of archways, there's always one that's broken, like, right in, like, the top right corner. Always. There's, like, so many of them leading away from House Beneviento. Right there! They love to do it! I don't know why they do it!
The off-center broken archway. It's the one fucked up eye of archways.
It seriously is. They do it to a boss. One of the bosses has one fucked up archway on its head. I love this game. I love this damn game. And this really is comparable, right, to that segment where, I mean, just look at us, right? Like, he's just taking these goddamn werewolf shots right to the face. I shouldn't say that. Let me rephrase that. He is taking these paws right to his dome. Nah. He's getting He's getting a fuzzy face full, that Ethan Winters. Give that guy a fuzzy face full. I like this segment. This is good catharsis after, you know, essentially the slow pace of the previous segment. This is like, all right, House Beneviento had no combat. This segment has every combat that you ever wanted.
Something I just noticed, did I shoot one of the arrows, like, out of the air? Oh man, I've never realized that this game lets you do that. That's fucking rad.
You can knife arrows out of the air too. I believe there's a chivo for knifing an arrow.
That is fucking rad.
I wish there were a point bonus for it in Mercenaries, but sadly there's not. This approach to the Stronghold here is one of the maps in Mercenaries. Which I suppose...
This game has mercenaries. Oh.
Yes, now we can finally talk about that. A long while back, we mentioned this game's got mercs very, very briefly, and it does, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's linear, it's shooting gallery based. It's not the open map where enemies attack you in kind of an endless arena. It's more of a score attack type of thing, and there's quite a bit of variety to it, because there are, instead of just time hourglasses, there are bonus hourglasses that make your Ethan beefier in various ways at, I don't know, shooting or stabbing, or there's one that makes you like absolute garbage damage from range, but like from 1 foot away you do 1,000,000,000%. They have one that takes away all your weapons and gives you only the knife, but you move at 1,000,000,000 miles an hour. It's weird. It's an interesting way to cram Mercenaries into a linear game like this. I just wish there were more of it.
There may be more with DLC. We'll have to see.
Fucking who even knows, right? By the time this video comes out, although knowing your schedule, this will be out by the time we're done recording the commentary for it. It'll already be on YouTube somehow. Never mind. I was gonna say, by the time we're done with this, the DLC may be out. We don't even know what the DLC is yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
Nice.
at first, that was a really fucking cool shot. Go me. Second, they haven't mentioned a single thing about this game's DLC since I think E3 of 2021, where they just said, "Yeah, we're doing it."
Yeah.
Genuinely, you know what it is? I bet it is fear caused by what happened with Not a Hero. Where Not a Hero, they were so sure it was gonna be out immediately. They were so sure. And then it wasn't for a year. Like, I got a feeling that the reason they're being cagey is because they don't know. Well, no, I guess KG is Dead Rising. This is a different Japanese developer.
Yeah, he also no longer works at Capcom, so.
Hey, some people say that's a good thing, given what happened with Dead Rising.
I thought you were gonna say Mighty Number 9.
Hey, some people say that's a good thing, given what happened with Mighty Number 9. You guys like anime, right? And pizza? Do you think Ethan Winters likes pizza? Romanian staple food. Some oregano, some basil, some mushrooms. Delicious.
Chorba de pizza.
Yeah, man, I bet there is Romanian pizza.
That would actually be terrible. That would just be pizza soup, wouldn't it?
I was gonna say I don't know if Ethan's allowed to have mushrooms anymore. Just going off of like the notes Mia leaves on the fridge.
I guess that's fair. Like,
Well, I mean, that's good though, because mushrooms are disgusting and don't belong on any food.
Oh, see, them's fighting words, given that I really like mushrooms in one specific circumstance.
Mushrooms are my favorite ingredient.
ChaosArgate repping the molded. So the fun part about this, I don't know if you've tried pulling both levers while there are still werewolves alive. I actually don't know if it still does it if they're dead. Let's find out. Does it still open horrendously slowly? Yeah. So this is something fun. In order to avoid blocking the player's progress, right? You don't actually have to kill anything here. You could just run on by. They are really, really dedicated to making sure you can make it through this game while only having to kill, like, the mandatory amount of stuff. You can run by, but you know, you gotta get squirrely like Ethan Winters loves to be.
I could have sworn there were 2 separate swarms per lever, but
Yeah, I could have sworn another wave spawned too, because on my streams I just ran right for both levers. I got no idea. That's how I know that that's how I know that the gate opens terribly, terribly slowly. Ironically slowly.
Also, there's a typewriter here if you want to save, which, you know, not a bad idea if you've survived that horde.
Yeah, and speaking of which, this place has a little bit of content associated with it, but it's more like explaining what the fuck this place used to be and what it is. We don't really know, do we? Do you guys know what this place is? Why it's called the Stronghold? It's just like Lycanville, I guess.
Don't.
This must be their den.
Oh, okay, thanks, Ethan. That's about all you get on what this place is this is just, I guess, where the Lycans hang out. This is where we were when we got kidnapped. This is where we were hanging out. Because in the background of that cutscene, you can see a bunch of Lycans jumping in from a very Uncharted-looking ruin. That's the only way I can describe it, is it looks like it's out of an Uncharted game.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know, look at this damn place. It looks like Nathan Drake would have to, like, climb on vines and X-button his way through this place. Ethan can barely mantle over waist-high walls. He only just learned that. How do we feel about the combat in this game, gentlemen? I like it. I like the combat in this game better than 7's a lot. I feel like it is the same, but refined. What do you think?
I also like it a lot.
it helps that we have more than one enemy type.
That's true. And there's a lot of them, and that's the thing, they even found variety in the lichens, right? I was about to say, there's a lot of them in one room here, an astounding amount, but that's the point, and even then, some of them have, range. There aren't any molded that have range, for example. Just that alone, it just adds so much.
Yeah, there's just 3 types of molded, really? Maybe 4 if you count I guess it is 4 types of molded.
And I love how
with the lichens, it's like they come with different. They come in different sizes, shapes, aggressiveness.
Yeah.
What?
I love their animations. I love the way they are. Because one problem the molded had is that they just kind of like blobbed through each other and didn't act like there were multiple enemies in the room. But look at these guys. They're like dodging in circles around each other to not get in each other's way. And there are animations of like them pushing each other aside. Someone in the thread posted an animation of Dimitrescu shoving one of the zombie ladies aside. And she just kind of like goes bap and they just go flying. But you didn't see that. Because you never really, think about this. This is something kind of nuts. You never really encounter, Jack Baker and the Molded in the same room in vanilla RE7.
No, I guess you're right.
Only in, the Nightmare with Clancy. I wonder what he's doing nowadays.
I feel like he's not doing too hot, but I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a while.
I don't know. I would say that, you know what? Actually, after the events of 7, he'd probably let his film career fizzle out.
I can't blame him.
Up in smoke, that Clancy, after what happened to his buddy Pete. And Andre. How can we forget poor Andre? I'm glad that Clancy canonically survived. My musical montage brought him back to life. That's the whole reason I did it. Yeah, I like this segment because so far, we haven't really had to fight a lot of enemies at once since the village segment. So this is kind of their mea culpa for that, where it's like, remember when all you had was a pistol and 1 shotgun shell? Guess what? Now you have a grenade launcher. It's the same amount of werewolves as before, but now you have a grenade launcher, so have at them.
Yeah, you can actually handle them this time. Because, like I said, this is the part of every Resident Evil game where you're just a walking arsenal.
Yeah, and this is...
seriously, I came into Otto's mill with came out of it? I don't know. I had 200 handgun pistols at one. Handgun rounds.
Dude, Ethan's he's like Reaper. He's like Reaper. He's just carrying a bunch of guns under his coat. He just throws them away instead of reloading.
I love handgun pistols.
Dude, Ethan Winters' stand is called A Farewell to Arms. He throws all his guns like they're TDR weapons and they just reappear in his hand. I like the way this arena is designed. It's similar to the Otto's Mill stuff, where there are a couple of approaches. The way I played through this, I treated this like I was storming the front, where I was letting the werewolves pile up behind me and just pushing forward, and setting mines behind me to get them behind me as I was running. But the way Argate has done this is equally valid, where you can let them jump around and you can run around with them and yeah! Get that dude sweet Tarzan swing! I was so hoping you would get that. That's my favorite animation in the game. I told you. I told you Nathan Drake was here. You killed Nathan Drake. Thank you. Thank God. Video games can stop having mantling now.
But yeah, honestly, I normally try to conserve my ammo, even for stuff like this, but I have so much ammo, it does not matter.
And this is, sadly, I feel a problem that this game has, is overloading you on ammo, where a lot of the time, for example, go to RE4, the king of silent game balancing, right? RE4's impeccable silent balancing stuff people talk about, they have you go up and down on ammo as essentially you need it and use it. But in this game, it just piles up and piles up. For example, right, And if this were RE4, they would have given us all of that ammo, expecting us to use it here. But in this game, they gave us all of that ammo, and notice that they're continuing to refill it as we're killing the Lycans. So we're not really losing much ammo. We're coming out of this pretty much the same on supplies, almost.
Yeah, both times I've done that the elevator, like right before Salazar, like in RE4, is one of the most tense parts of that game for me, just because of
yeah, that's
like,
it's awesome.
How many dudes show up on the elevator and how little like you're left with like by the end of it.
Yeah, you have like
it feels
like
great.
you have like 3 stacks of pistol ammo, and it's like, oh, thanks for the pistol ammo, versus like 2 rifle shots. Or no, you have like 18 rifle shots, but they're for the bolt action. You don't have the automatic one, so you're like, God, this is so situational and enjoyable. I have to make choices. Room to room on which weapon to use, varying per playthrough. This game almost had that. This game has the framework of that, but it almost looks like they didn't commit.
Okay, big guy.
Okay, big guy. Yeah! I was hoping you would. I love fireworks.
Oh, there's a bunch of big boys.
Oh, and they've got big claws.
You know what they say about big claws.
I like that the shotgun blast launched him further back than the grenade did.
Well, okay, that's how action movies work. Like, explosives blow people apart, shotguns send people flying backwards. It's like you shot him with a t-shirt cannon. And he could use one, his was coming apart.
Yeah.
That's a good time to bust that out, too. I love this random suit of armor just sitting here. I wonder what developer put that random suit of armor here? And what purpose does it serve? Did they think like, you know what? This is like the rug that throws the room together right here.
Meanwhile, I'm wondering if we're going to be fighting the final boss and seeing the press L1 to shove enemy back prompt.
I can't believe that prompt is so invisible to Argate. Laser focus on his recording, that man. Cannot be distracted. We just gotta hope that, like, he gets into a situation where he's button mashing because he's frightened and he does it on accident. This is some odd organization you got here, friend. This is some strange choices. It looks like you're trying to keep as much open space.
Yeah, I think I was going more for space than anything.
Yeah, just a big rectangle blob of open space. It's like one of those arcade games where you gotta like... No, where you don't hear the ethereal screams of the damned. That's a different arcade game. That's like that one with Sinistar. I was thinking more of one of those ones where you like cut off slices of the level while you're being chased by soccer balls. Gotta cut it into squares.
Every time you don't get a goat, it gets my goat.
Did he miss another goat?
He missed a goat.
Where was it? Where was this one? I don't even know where this one was.
It was like on the ledge to the right. He swept the camera right past it.
The king's orders finally said, a goat. See? This is the most important note in the entire game. If you aren't reading the notes and you're just listening to us yammer on, go back and read that note, because that is the most important Resident Evil note ever. That umbrella symbol is some ancient Cthulhu shit. That's been here longer than mankind has been here. These are some pretty killer reveals that were being given here just among this random werewolf hellhole. This is like when Chris and Sheva found a bunch of flowers and they were like, Sheva, look at a bunch of flowers. This means that Umbrella is clearly controlling everything to do with the agriculture industry and also the oil industry forever. And you, the player, are like, I'm sorry, could you go back for half a second?
It's not good.
What, was Ethan unhappy about what he got in that crate? Oh, that's why it's not good. Okay.
Yeah, it's not good because it's not gonna help us here. Papa G is back.
Use the music
shit,
box.
I forgot it in the item box.
Sorry, man. They had to cut that quest from the game. It was going to be Louise's music box. This is actually her husband. I don't know which I like better. The idea of, I mean, we now know that the grenade launcher gentleman is her husband, but I wonder who this guy is supposed to actually be. Village Elderman, I suppose, but he doesn't seem super important. I wish he had lore. I also wish he had unique AI, but he doesn't really. He's got the same AI as the other big guys, sadly.
More or less, yeah.
I will say that grenade launcher is serving Ethan's teeth well. He will not be able to walk through a metal detector at an airport.
Freeze frame.
Yeah, dude. Again, it is just like an action movie. It's like you're speedrunning this.
Oh man, it almost is.
It's like you're one-cycling this dude.
That reminds me, I forgot that they were doing a RE8 at GDQ last night. I need to go watch that run.
Oh, I wonder if it was entertaining. I don't know how a speed run of this game could take place. Your running speed seems... Oh, that's a cool move though.
Yeah, it is. It was a bonus game, and I think the incentive got met to actually run it. It was a... Oh, that's big.
I'm gonna guess that would stop the timer if they got hit by that.
Probably. I believe they were doing Village of Shadows difficulty on GDQ.
Jesus.
That's exciting. Village of Shadows, we've got time to talk about Village of Shadows difficulty because there's, oh boy, this game's got some fun difficulty settings in it. Ah, he fooled you. He faked you out.
He did. He really did.
It's like he wants to live or something. Up there is where we were before, I think. I think that area up there is where we were when we were being chased. You know, he jumped down a little bit harder than his friends did. The village elder and Dimitrescu, they ought to have a, well, you know, maybe they did have some blood and wine together. I was gonna suggest they get a drink, but they are of similar stature. Excuse me. My friend, I don't think a lockpick's gonna help you here.
I don't think so either.
But what if you could pick the, That's an odd trophy name.
Each shit.
You interrupted it! Why?
I didn't know it was, I didn't
man.
know it was coming.
Nah, that was a dramatic pause for emphasis on Ethan's part. Eat shit. Honestly, you chumped that guy. That boss fight was rendered incomprehensible by your throwing of the explosives. It was a wonderful dance, a beautiful ceremony.
I feel like we could have talked strategy, but really, I think my strategy for all big dudes like that is like kite around as much as possible and make them blow up.
I had no idea what to talk about. That's the sad thing, right? Is he is essentially the same as the other big guys. We fought another one of him in this same video. That was like Otto, but in a worse arena. In a way, Otto was a better boss fight than the leader of the entire village, whose name I believe is Urias.
Yeah.
Urias? Something? I have a speech impediment. I can't get it right. But that's why the trophy is called Up-Urs.
Yeah, Urias or something like that.
Yeah. You know what? This is an appropriate reward for all of our struggle. This is very Zoe-esque hallway. Like, this hallway doesn't really remind me of my daughter. This hallway reminds me of Zoe. I miss her. You're gonna get rich out of this, though, at the very least. And hey, this reveals where all these goddamn quartzes come from.
I'm genuinely surprised I got all those on like my first sweep.
I've seen so many people just ignore that those are shootable and walk all the goddamn way past, and it just, my brain hurts when it happens. Hey, would you like a flask? Here you go. It's just sitting here. Get bodied,
Oh,
Ethan.
yeah, the torso.
What?
You know, that is what they called him at his job before he resigned and moved to Romania. Ethan Baby Hands Winters.